What story acts like your comfort food for the soul? We all have one. Maybe it's a book or an episode of television or a film. Maybe it's a poem or a song, something like that. But I'm really thinking about story here. Yesterday, for some reason, I went down this IMDb rabbit hole and ended up landing on one of my favorite episodes of television ever, which was The West Wing, an episode called Two Cathedrals. If you're a West Wing fan, that's all I have to say, right? You know Two Cathedrals instantly. Many people on the internet, various magazines and critics and whatnot, consider this to be one of the best episodes of television ever created, which I completely agree with. It's an amazing, amazing episode. I suppose you could watch it on your own out of context. I'm not sure if it will have the same weight or gravitas that it does without the previous seasons leading up to it. But in any case, that is one of my comfort foods. That is an episode of television I can go to, and it's going to recenter me, right? It's going to bring me kind of back to the middle, to me being myself and being in a good place. I think that's the most important thing. It brings me back to a good place. Another one that I go to, and this is kind of weird, but it's a middle grade novel from the early 80s called Maudie and Me and the Dirty Book by Betty Miles. And it is, I must reread this book probably 3 or 4 times a year. Again, it's middle grade, it's very short, but it is just an absolutely beautiful novel about friendship, about these two girls who meet under these very strange circumstances and form an unlikely friendship. I mean, we all like the unlikely friendship story, right? Anyway, it's you can probably still pick it up used on Amazon or look for it at your local used bookstore. Maudie and Me and the Dirty Book. It's just a delightful. You can see how I'm smiling. I'm totally smiling right now as I think of it because it is a delightful book. So those are two examples that I like to go to when I need to recenter, when I need that comfort food for the soul, right? The other thing about that is that I love being a professional storyteller. That's what I do, and I take that so seriously, and I consider it such a deep, deep blessing to be able to do that for other people. Because ultimately, I mean, we could talk for hours about the theme of Party or of Beckett's Last Mixtape or Zero. All of these things. I could happily hold forth for multiple hours about the characters, about the plot, about the theme, about the background, all that kind of stuff. And I'm happy to do that anytime. But ultimately, end of the day kind of stuff, what I'm really here to do is to entertain. No matter how deep or serious or funny or whatever the story that I'm telling may be, ultimately I'm here to entertain because entertainment matters. Entertainment changes our day. Entertainment can put us on a better path for the day or the week or the month, maybe even the year. I mean, every once in a while, right? That one story, regardless of its format or its form, can make a lasting impact on us. I'm not even talking about those. I'm just talking about, you know what? I'm having a bad day. I'm going to go read a horror novel or my favorite, young adult book or my favorite comic book or watch that favorite episode of television or that favorite video on YouTube or whatever. Being a storyteller and being able to offer that to people is such a blessing and such a responsibility, and I take it very, very seriously. And I don't get to dictate what your favorite thing is. For some of you, it might be reading Party. Maybe it's like, I just need to read Beckett. I just need to read that first chapter. Or I'm going to open up my favorite X-Men comic book. Or I'm going to watch my favorite, god-awful, gory, funny horror movie or whatever. Nobody gets to dictate to you what story has that impact on you. That's entirely up to you, and that's fine. Embrace it. So, anyway, today I hope you have time to carve out some space in your schedule to read a little bit of your favorite story or watch your favorite episode of television or your favorite movie or whatever, and just get that breath of sort of fresh air, that breath of the familiar, actually, that gives you grounding, that roots you back to who you are and where you're going and what you need. It's always, always okay, in my mind, be able to do that. And thank you for letting me come into your life and offer you story in whatever format that it takes. So thank you very much for doing that, and I hope you get some time to do that today. Before I go, I want to remind you that on February 8th, 2022, I will be starting my Kickstarter project for Beckett's Last Mixtape, the comic book, issue number 1, which, if I get out of the way, is right there. Let me show this to you because it's so cool. Beckett's Last Mixtape. Woo! Very excited about this. One of the great things about the comic book and about this particular Kickstarter is that the book is done. It is finished. I have printed copies right now. I have tested them. I've looked at them. So I know that when I put in the order for your printed comic book, it's going to go boom out the door and get right off to you because everything's shipped and ready to go and printed and all set. And I'm very excited about that. So you don't have to wait months and months and months for that kind of thing. So I really do hope you will take a look at that. You can just go to Kickstarter.com and look up my name or look up Beckett's Last Mixtape and it should pop right up. I hope you'll consider being a part of that because it's really cool. One of the great things I'm coming to learn and love about crowdfunding is that it's not, it's being part of the process. Like you get to be involved in this whole thing and watch this whole thing as it grows and develops, as opposed to just like making a purchase or something like that, which is fine. That's cool. I'm an artist. We need people to make purchases, of course, but Kickstarter, things like that, crowdfunding as a whole, you get to be a part of it and you get to have these relationships with the people that you're telling stories to and for and about. And I really, really like that about crowdfunding. I really like that about Kickstarter. So I do hope you'll check that out. It goes live February 8th, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you pledging on there. All right? Read your books, read your comics, watch your shows, watch your movies. Get that comfort food for the soul. This is self-care. I'm giving you permission. Watching your favorite episode of television is self-care. And God knows we all need that pretty much every day. All right? Cool. Take care, and I'll talk to you later. Be safe.